Hello, this is JF Giraud, and today we're continuing our presentation on blockchain and databases for the certification and quality management, operation management. So this is the 5th video in our series. I would recommend that you watch the previous videos that we've made in this area. So the first video was a simple blockchain for certification and regulatory compliance. This is a Google spreadsheet that's made into a blockchain so that every line record is saved in the blockchain. This is an example for just certification of professional activities for engineers, doctors, accountants, etc., to be compliant with their professional order and with the legal requirement for professionals. This is another example for the management of drones and maintenance as per the legal regulatory requirement of Transport Canada. And then the second video that we presented was how this type of blockchain that we just presented in the previous video can be used for asset management and reducing your carbon footprint. Basically, you're improving your operation, so there's less waste and there's less carbon footprint. And then this is a nice way of doing blockchain, but if you prefer something that's more or if you need something that's more a better tool for information management, then there's a test that can be done to decide what type of system that you need. Is email enough, or a spreadsheet, a distributed spreadsheet? Maybe you need a database or a blockchain. So this is the second video, the third video that I made to help you decide what is the optimum system for what you're doing. And then the fourth video in this installment is whether how you can use version and configuration management with blockchain for certification. By the way, that's like a requirement for many transportation regulatory systems, and also in ISO 9001 and AS9100 there are a requirement for in section 8 in operation management for configuration management. Okay, so on to today's video. We're going to be using a database. Like, we started small with spreadsheet and we explained when you need a database and when you need a blockchain. And so once you've decided that a database is what you need for your operation management, then we're going to be using the smallest, simplest database that I know of. It's still very, very popular. It's, I think, the second or third most used software in the world, and it's very robust. So we're going to be using SQLite. Just like this is just like some lessons learned that I've documented here, so that you can avoid problems and wastes. So if, for example, when it comes to cutting and pasting in the SQL shell, if you have issues cutting and pasting from a Google Doc, then try cutting and pasting from a notepad. That works better. And if you're in Linux or Mac, you should have no problem. It usually cuts and pastes no problem. I've tested Windows 7, Windows 10, Ubuntu 20.04, and the latest Mac OS, which was upgraded yesterday, so no problem there. The only issue that I've had was with in Windows. So if you have that issue, just use Notepad to do your cut and paste. And another thing, sometimes if you're missing an apostrophe in your commands, it's possible that you're going to get something like this. You're going to get the continuation prompt. If you get that it just means that your command was not properly entered, and it just means that SQLite is waiting for the continuation of your command. And if you're completed and you don't get like the complete SQLite prompt, then just go back and verify, and more than likely you're going to find that there's some character missing, probably a semicolon or maybe an apostrophe. Okay, the previous videos we just did, I'm not going to go over that. All right, so SQLite. Why did we choose SQLite? It's just like one of the best software that I've ever seen. It's free, open source, it's used everywhere, it's fantastic for the Internet of Things. It's small and it works great, and it's fully compliant with the SQL system and language, so it's very very useful. All right, so what do? You go to the SQLite site, you download your version. In my case, I downloaded the precompiled binaries for Windows with the tools, and I saved it in this is like a very small file, you can see, just like a couple of megabytes. So you just download it, and then I recommend that you verify the SHA-3. See, like this is the SHA-3 here for the program. So just to make sure that you're using a legitimate copy, it's not like a hacked version. So you just run your hash SHA-3, you verify that what you downloaded is the same SHA-3 as from the official site, and that's how you ensure that you have the correct version. All right, so once you've downloaded the program, you just execute it. Like double click on SQLite S3 exec, and it's going to open a shell. It's going to look like this, and that's just like the basics. So once you have that, you can just go in your DOS or Linux command prompt, and you go in the directory where you saved your file, and this is the command that you issue, SQLite 3. And operations.db, that's like a new database. So we're creating this new database, and once you have created it, you can start populating it with the tables, and this is what we're doing here. At the SQLite prompt, you just enter these commands, and that's going to create the table user with these columns. And then you create the table operation, because remember, what we're doing here is a database for operation management. So you have several users doing different type of operations, and then you can start populating. So those are all SQL commands. So insert into user value, so those are your users, and then you insert in the table operation, like the operation, and you're going to get something like this, SQLite. You notice that it ends with the semicolon. You have all your apostrophes, so you're populating the table with your values, and then you want to see that the tables have been populated. So the command that you run for this is select star from user. So when you run that in SQLite, you're going to see that those are the values that have been entered. I know this is like not very easy to see, but a little bit later I'm going to show a graphical user interface, a better interface, but this is just like to show the basic command. And if you want to see the table operation, just again you run the select star from operation, and you see your operation. Now if you want to see the tables that you've just created, just run the table period tables, and it's going to show you the two tables that you've created, operation and user. Now the easier way to visualize this is with graphical user interface for SQLite. There's many of them out there. You choose the one that you prefer. The one that I'm showing here is SQLite Lite Manager, and it's just like an application, an extension that you use in your browser. There's some for Mozilla, Firefox, Chrome. There's different ones. This is our table. The first command here is to list all the tables. So you have the table operation and then user, and then from that database you see this is our operations database that we created earlier, which has been dragged and dropped in this extension in Firefox. And then if you again issue the command select all from user, you're going to see all your user, and same thing with the operation. Now I've showed cut and paste in the SQL prompt, but if you prefer, you can create files. For example, this is myscript.sql, and then you can read those files directly from the prompt. So that may be easier for correcting and making sure that there's no error. And that's a way of reading an SQL file. So what you would do is you just go to the SQLite prompt and you issue the read myscript.sql, and that's going to read or insert the data that we have. All right, thank you very much for your attention and listening to this, and I hope that we're going to engage in the comment section with your comments and questions. And the next time we're going to be developing a more complex, better type of database for design and development. We're going to be following the procedure required in AS9100. There's like a certain format that you have to do. And then we're also going to connect those databases to each other, connect the tables, and also distribute the database on the internet so that you can collaborate on the database with your colleagues. This is one of the main advantages of using the database. You can work in collaboration with several people to develop a product and improve your operation and processes. Again, thank you very much. Hope that you enjoyed this, and don't hesitate to ask your question, and see you the next time. Bye bye. JF signing off.